Omarion Hampton is somebody that is consensus top three running back in this historic 2025 NFL draft class. But he's not really getting talked about as much as you would expect for him to. But expect for the hype to go up and up. This is a day two pick at the absolute latest. And we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about his measurables, give you a little bit of background on Omarion Hampton. And then we have a little bit of a film review that we're going to go over and kind of show you guys why he's such a highly touted running back in the NFL draft. So, guys, if you love NFL draft content, Denver sports stuff, really all things football, hit the subscribe button, like the video. It'll really help me out. I very much appreciate y'all. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about Omarion Hampton. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling with this cat. This is a running back that is extremely well sized. I mean, you're talking 6'1", 220 pounds. He's every bit of that, very well proportioned. He looks like somebody that has even, more room to make that frame get bigger. And what I love about him, there's a lot of things I love about him. But what I really like is the consistent production. You can see over the last two seasons, he's averaged 5.9 yards per attempt both years, 15 touchdowns both years, and 1,500 plus yards rushing both years. And then he played one less game in 2024, but he's been very durable overall as well. And someone that's just consistent. Very, he's one of those people that when you initially watch him on film, you're like, oh, he's good, but nothing special. But then you realize when you start comparing him to other guys, he makes everything look very easy. He's extremely fluid. And, at a 6'1", 220-pound frame, it's pretty damn impressive. In addition to that, he's got really great rushing grades. His gap and his zone grades are both really good. But look at this, 1,222 yards after contact. That's second in the entire NCAA behind only Ashton Genty. And that's like 80% of his rushing yards came after contact. So extremely impressive, very good contact balance, which you'll see, a very powerful runner. And even though he doesn't catch the ball a ton, we do have a few clips of that. He's shown that he can do it with 38 catches this year, 29 last, over 373 yards catching the ball too. So the ability for him to do that is there. And that's something that I can, of course, see him doing better at. Now, when you talk about some of the cons or some of the things that you worry about, well, one thing, it doesn't worry me, but this is something you're going to hear a lot with scouts, is that he doesn't really have home run speed. His top end speed is not elite, which doesn't bother me because what is elite is his acceleration. You'll be able to see he's got phenomenal vision. His acceleration is unbelievable in a sense of he's patient. And then when he sees the hole, he sticks his foot in the ground and he gets it. So he's got a really good, mix of being patient, but also being able to hit the hole, see things. Contact balance is great. Lateral movement, agility, elusive, all that is very, very impressive. But he's a load to bring down. He really is. Another thing that I noticed on film that I would say is a little bit of a con is, for whatever reason, and it could be offensive line related, but he wasn't as dominant on the, in the goal line or like close to the goal line as you would think. There was so many times where he would get the ball from the one and he would get stuffed. Then they give it to him again and he'd score. Or he gets stuffed, 2 times in a row, and then they give it to him on the third time, and then he'd finally score. So I don't know if it's overly a concern. It's a little bit hard because sometimes clearly the blocking wasn't there. But other times it's like, could he have just maybe gotten a little bit low, gotten skinny, and just kind of put his head and dove? So just something to kind of note there in terms of kind of some concerns. But otherwise, he's an unbelievably complete back. In my current rankings, I have him as running back 3. Now, keep in mind, I do a lot of my rankings based off of like what the Broncos, my team, needs, and not necessarily in generalized prospects. But a lot of the times they do go hand in hand. So I have Travion Henderson over Omarion Hampton currently. But who knows? That lots of things can change before the actual draft when I have my final ranking. So very impressive player. But you know what? Let's get into some of this film here. All right, how about that? And we're going to start right off of the bat here with a little bit of a pass. So you're going to be able to see him in the backfield next to the quarterback. He's going to run a little, route inside, very simple against the linebacker. Bounces off 2 dudes, stiff arm is that one. He's a load to bring down. Now, I'm going to have this one from the sideline angle. One thing I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say disappointed with, but something that he'll need to clean up is this is kind of a lazy route. It's an amazing route concept, but it's a little bit of a lazy route. He doesn't really hit at full speed. He kind of knows he's going to be open, so he just rounds the corner. But catches the ball, head upfield, gets low, and an absolute terror to bring down. And for someone that's 6'1", he does a good job of squaring down and getting low right away. I think he's kind of made that a habit. As you can see, he caught the ball upright, immediately gets low, to be able to, have that better balance and be a little bit of a more difficult target to bring down. All right, so we're gonna go onto this one here. This one I love. Now I have the sideline angle and I have the one from the end zone. So I'm gonna let it run and then we're gonna break down the end zone view. And this is against Florida State. And so here's what I love about it from this angle. You'll be able to see ball snapped. He's looking, it's not there. He just boom bounces outside. And his ability to get to top speed so quickly is unbelievably impressive. I mean, guys don't even have a chance to react to it. So you can really see that athleticism there. And this one I had slowed down for y'all as well. It's a little bit of a screen pass, and he's just a downhill runner. He's got a little bit of shimmy in his game, but for the most part, he doesn't really overly use it. He just makes one decision and he goes, which I love. And you'll be able to see that a lot more here as well. You see the ball snapped, he fake. Oh no, this one, I'm sorry. This one, I always get these confused. This is the same game, but different. All right, so you'll be able to see when he gets the ball here, watch how he gets skinny and then just decisive and then bounces off dudes. I mean, you're not gonna be able to bring him down with stuff like that. And the crazy thing is, go back just a couple seconds, maybe a little bit more. The crazy thing is watch how he barely even moves. Boop, just literally didn't even phase him. Wasn't even close to bringing him down. So he gets skinny a lot, and you don't even see it that much on here until you really slow it down on film. But he just has this hesitation to move, and then he decides, and it is really, really impressive to see. And he's got phenomenal vision. This is one of my favorite clips here. I love this one because the contact balance is ridiculous. One, two, three. Those are linebackers, people hitting them hard in the hole. Let's run that back a little bit more. Give this clip a little bit more love. Gets skinny, bounces right off of the defensive tackle, eludes him, keeps his balance, switches the ball to the sideline hand, and then just keeps going. You don't want to stop. All right, this one I think is pass protection. That's another thing I forgot to mention as a con. I don't know. It's hard to tell on film. I don't know if it's necessarily a lack of effort when it comes to pass pro in general, but what I can definitely see is that he's got pretty bad technique when it comes to pass pro. Again, one of those things that if he's willing and wanting and takes a lot of pride in pass protection, with that frame, he's somebody that can figure it out really quickly. But you'll be able to see here, just keep an eye out on him. I thought it was funny because he got blown up on his butt, but you got to love the effort on that one. He got absolutely sent in the backfield. And here's another example of that. You'll be able to see they fake the handoff. He does a good job scanning through, and then that's an adequate enough block. But you see how upright he is? He kind of still gets driven back a little bit. Now, granted, I believe it was the safety that he ultimately ended up hitting, but the technique was a little bit off there. But you love to see him scan the field like he did and be able to know where the block is coming from. He's just a violent finisher, man. He really is. He's a violent, violent finisher. As you can see here, sees the hole, foot in the dirt, moves, runs right through him. And you really see the vision be popping on film as well. Look at this. He catches the ball on the short screen. And you give him an open field, man. He's got a little bit of wiggle to him. Like I said, very decisive. He makes a move, but he doesn't even slow down when he makes those moves too, to be able to house that one. Now, let's see which one this is. Oh yeah, that one I love. That one I love because you can see here, you kind of see a little bit of everything here. A little bit of the pass protection. He goes out into the route. It's not really there. Quarterback gets it to him late. Watch how quickly, boom, makes the dude miss. I mean, absolutely sick. You'll be able to see it from this angle too. Whoop, right away, just immediate and upfield. All right, a few more here, guys. Now, this one I will tell you was sped up, but I wish I did the opposite on that. That was totally my bad. Um, so yeah, here it goes. So you see, the lane's not there. He gets the cutback. He sees the vision right away. Shoulder dip, gets a little bit skinny through the hole, bounces off some guys and finishes strong. I mean, just the little nuances that you love to see. And then look at this is ridiculous. I mean, the center got absolutely like ran through. Watch how quickly he reacts. Gets the ball, boom. Nope, no thank you. Jumps all the way out and hits the hole. I mean, just stupid when it comes to that ability. And then here, same thing. His lateral quickness is so good. And that's going to complete all the clips I have. But for somebody that's that tall, usually with tall running backs, I'm not really a big fan of tall running backs for a couple of reasons. I think the contact balance is usually not as good unless you're like Derrick Henry, because usually you're running a little bit upright. You don't necessarily have like the shiftiness that you would expect from those smaller backs. Similar to like, a big receiver, you don't expect for a 6'5" receiver to run routes like a 6 foot receiver or a 5'11" guy, or maybe a 6'1". The taller they get, sometimes the stiffer they get. That is not the case with Omarion Hampton. He is very elusive. He's got great lateral agility. He's got great contact balance, as you've seen. His vision's great. But what I was the most impressed by, and it's something that took me a few times to really like keep looking, is how he's able to just wait. He keeps his feet moving in like I don't even know what the scouting term for it, so apologies for it, but he's got an ability, like he keeps his feet moving in the backfield, kind of hesitates, and then when he sees it, he decides immediately. But in addition to that, he hits it fast. His acceleration is very impressive, and that to me, makes a good running back a lot. It's a much better trait to have than somebody that's just got pure long speed, the ability to hit the hole and get to top gear quickly. Because once you gain on people, he's got enough speed to be able to take the house if he's got a few steps on the defenders. He's very strong, like I said too, and hard to bring down. But a couple of things that the goal line issues, like I talked about, he keeps getting stuffed on the goal line quite a bit. So not always the best finisher in those short yardage situations from what I've seen, but not overly concerned about that, especially because North Carolina's O-line was okay. They had Willie Lampkin, who's a draftable guy, but he's like 5'11", 260. So they weren't really the biggest, but he's a really good player. I love to evaluate him because he didn't have the best, most dominant O-line, and there was so many times where he created opportunities for himself, even on 4 or 5 yard runs that would have gone, in a lot of cases, they would have gone for, negative yards or no gain. He turned them into something by being able to cut it back or get skinny through the hole or bounce off a guy or two, be able to finish forward. And I do love his downhill nature ability to him. Good experience, good mix of like experience in college, but also still being pretty young overall. And so, that's something that you got to love as well. I think he came out as a junior. He's only 21 years old. He'll be 22 entering his rookie year. But yeah, I mean, he was a true junior coming out of North Carolina, 2 very productive seasons. He had 2 fumbles in his entire career. They actually came in the same game. And ever since then, he hasn't fumbled since. So he's been really good with, protecting the ball in that sense. Like I said, the only thing that I would say he'd really need to work on, or teams were going to have to really make sure that they, teach him and kind of drill into his head, is his ability to pass protect. But I can see him coming in as a really dominant 2-down running back early in his career for a team that maybe has a designated 3rd down back, and he's going to be a load. And he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So big fan of Omarion Hampton, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, man. Check him out. I think that he's going to be somebody that is, potentially can sneak into the top of the 1st round, depending on how that all shakes out. He's definitely worthy of it. But it's certainly a day 2 pick at worst. So let me know below, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your night. And until the next video, y'all take it easy and peace out.